whole series, the whole series, and and then we'll dive deeper. So if you don't mind, you can just see in the introduction, just share your name, where are you from, what is your experience with meditation and chanting, what do you hope to get out of the series, and favorite places to visit to disconnect from the chaos of the world, right? So that's what you would like to do quickly, just a minute, no more than, maybe less than, whatever you feel comfortable. So anybody would like to go first?
I can go first. My name is Shilpi. I am originally from India. We've been living in Seattle for last 3 years. We moved here from Singapore. Um, and then my experience with meditation and chanting has been since 2014. I started chanting in 2014 and I have been chanting since then. This has changed my life. Chanting has given me it's like when I am hungry and I'm craving for food, I eat what I like or what I'm craving for. And when I started chanting, I understood that similarly, the way my body craves for food, my soul craves for divine spiritual connection. And that craving was satisfied by chanting, uh, by mantra meditation, and by chanting. So, and what I'm hoping to get out of this series is to get all you beautiful people, to learn from you all and progress further, and grow further in my chanting and in my experiences in Bhakti Yoga. And my favorite places, so immediate escape that I really like doing is, when the weather is good here in Seattle, I'm in Seattle. I don't know where all of you are. I can see that Raza definitely is in Seattle. I know Deepak is in Seattle. I like to go to Lake Sammamish because I live close to Lake Sammamish and I like to sit there and chant. So that gives me, water gives me a lot of calm and peace. It calms me down. It helps me, connect back to my thoughts and to my roots. And yeah, if I could, then there are places in India where I would like to go, which I can't do very often. So sometimes to rejuvenate myself spiritually, I like to go back to those places in India and yeah, energize myself and rejuvenate. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, Shilpi. Anybody else next? Mm. Okay, so Shruti is typed the message. I am Shruti from India as well. Chanting was something I was exposed as a child. I got back to this practice since about a year. I like to go for a walk, beach vacation. Thank you, Shruti. All right. Anybody else?
Okay. Now we're just two left to say, so I can start that. So I'm Reza. I'm from Iran, and it is they're showing the time in Seattle, but I'm not. I have moved. Right before now, before when I logged in, so I had to log in again. So I was just thinking might take a little more a longer time to log and change it. So I'm not anymore in Seattle. I moved to California again. So I'm in Southern California now.
Okay, okay, okay. Good.
So in Orange County, which is about 45 minutes south for LA. So I'd been in Seattle in several sessions, and before that with meditation. So I was back in Norway. I took part in several of the courses with group Art of Living. We did some courses in yoga and chanting. It was very interesting. So it was my experience from there. So where I would like to go is just to the woods, to the sea, to the shore, and it's my favorite places.
Thank you, Reza. Thank you very much. When did you move to Orange County?
I moved from Seattle in the end of April this year.
End of April. Okay, okay, okay. I see.
So I've been here several months now.
Okay, great.
So for me, because before that I was living in Norway for most of my life,
Uh-huh.
and every day I stood up in Seattle. So I was thinking if I had ever moved, because it was dark and rainy most of the year. So, but I love the city. It is city like. I love walking. Here it's almost impossible to walk anywhere.
Thank you. Thank you, Raja. All right. Who's next?
How about I will go? I am Priya. I am from everywhere. I have lived everywhere. My mother gave birth to me in India, but I have lived all over the world and all over the country. So I consider myself a citizen of the world. Um, I do meditation many days a week. When I was a young girl, I used to chant with my mother, but I haven't much in recent times. Um, I'm curious. I like to learn. I like to share. I like to understand what other people are doing and thinking. So that's why I'm interested in this. Um, I like to go to the mountains. I like to climb. So that's my place to disconnect.
Thank you, Priya. Thank you very much.
And I am in Seattle now.
Thank you so much. Hello, Angelini. Hello, Katie.
Hi, Deepak.
Very good to see you.
Hi,
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah, he's another girl who loves to be in the woods. Right, Angelini?
That's right. Yeah, Priya, we should probably go do that together at some point. Um, I sorry for being late. I've been on the computer since 4:15 in a meeting and it went really long, like over an hour
Oh,
extra. So,
okay. Yeah. So if you can just do a quick intro,
sure.
whoever is the man. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Angelina Ingari, and I'm from here-ish. I live in Kent. I just moved 2.5 miles from where I lived before. And I grew up in Washington on the east side, not Bellevue. Okay. If you're really from Washington, I mean the east side of Washington State. Um, I have been meditating, chanting for a very long time, but I just got back into kirtan um, with the studio, I guess, last year, but I started probably about 15 years ago or so. I had friends that ran a chanting circle out on Lopez Island. And I've been meditating probably since I was like 17. And I'm only like 20 now, which is, not very long. No, I'm 40 now. And so it's been a little while, almost a lifetime for some. Um, I don't know what I'm hoping to get out of this series. More good time with good people. I mean, Shilpi and I are now like really good friends, and I just enjoy spending time with her. And you guys just raised my spirit so much, Deepak. It's so good to see you. And Priya, we've been in classes together, so I just really appreciate all of you. Um, and yes, the forest is where I find my mental health. On, in, or near water is an extra bonus. So good to see you all.
Thank you. Katie, Amisha.
Yeah, I can go next. So hello everyone, this is Amisha. I'm from Seattle. I live in Redmond. And what is the experience? So I am a yoga teacher. I just got certified as yoga teacher last year, and in that I learned chanting, meditation, and I see like it has been very it has been very positive. It has created a very positive impact in my life. Also, I'm like a software engineer, and I can see that when I do meditation, chanting, my productivity increases, and overall, I'm very happy from within. So I think that's what I want to continue. Especially, I love chanting in a group. Like it's like very refreshing for me. Um, and my favorite place here in Washington is Kirkland Marina Park, like that lake area. I really like to walk across the lake. It's very meditative and peaceful for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Amisha. Thank you very much. Katie? Okay, I can go. So my name is Deepak, and I also live in Redmond, just like you, Amisha. And I have been here in for a long time, actually. My experience with the chanting meditation, I have been around 20 years ago, 25 years ago, I was a seeker. I was looking for the experience. I always thought there's something higher, some of the calling. I didn't know what it is, so I was exploring. I was reading book. I was meditating in like doing a silent meditation. I was doing all those stuff, and then I discovered this chanting. Um, and as I started doing it, I found that something started changing within me. Um, my nature, the way I react, the way I talk to the people, all those things started changing. And as the different challenges came in my life as I was growing, I thought that it gave me the grounding which I really needed to move forward in my life. So it has really made me who I am today through that experience. Um, as both me and Shilpi will be the host, and this will be the discussion oriented. I'll be sharing the structure of the after this, what the structure of the series will be. So we hope to finish this in five or six sessions. That's the hope. And where's the favorite place to visit? I love the water, near the water, and that too in the morning hours when it's very quiet, the bird chirping, the sound of the water and nothing else, very serene. And that's what I really love to be. All right. Kitty, are you able to talk or not? It's totally fine if you're not able to. We're not going to force you, but if you can talk, you can do your intro.
She wrote in the chat her mic is broken or not.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. No worries, Kitty. Okay. So this is the structure. Um, when we were putting this structure, we were thinking when the folks are coming to these sessions, right? Some of you are totally okay. I know about it. I want to learn and grow more. The second is the seeker kind who is trying to know, okay, I have learned about, I've heard about it, but how does it really work? Does it really work? What are the evidence behind it? Like a lot of us are coming from the analytical background. We would like to know a little bit more, right? Which will enhance our faith in the process, right? So that's where we thought that we will divide into two sections. One is the developing the conviction, where we'll talk about the scientific evidence, right? What is sound? So we'll start with the very basic. What is sound? How? What are the different scientific evidence using the modern scientific experiment, which and what it talks about, right? Then so we will that will be our first section. That will take the most time actually. That has the most content. Um, then we will move to the evidence from the Vedic text, right? So we talked about the modern science. Then we talk about the Vedic science, right? This is what the Vedic science is saying, and then we'll try to bring it all together. At the end, we will talk about means in this section, we'll talk about the example from the recent past, right? What are the people have talked about it? What are the recent experiment which has happened and what are the result? So we will combine it all together. That's the developing the conviction part. So I hope it will take one or maybe two sessions to complete that. The next will be practice. Shilpi, would you like to cover the practice part?
Yes, Deepak, I can cover the practice part.
So go ahead. What are some of the things which you will be covering?
So in practice, we will be covering, it's about posture and environment, what kind of posture we should have and what should be the environment when we are chanting, which enhances the experience of chanting or mantra meditation. And how we have to be very consistent to be able to experience the real effect of chanting. So that is extremely important. And then how do we experience the name? When we are chanting the mantra, we are chanting the names of the divine. And how do we experience those names? These are the three things that we would be covering in practice. Thank you, Deepak.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And Shilpi is the you even once you start interacting with her, you will see that Deepak shut down. Let Shilpi talk. All right. So let me at this point of time. So that's the brief structure for us. Now I will start the first part, the scientific evidence. So I'll be sharing my other PowerPoint. Give me a minute. All right. I hope you all are seeing Mysteries of Sound. That's the content. Everybody sees that? Okay. So Mysteries of Sound. So chanting, sound meditation, all these words you have heard, the commonality is sound, right? What is that mystery of the sound? We have senses, we are acquiring the knowledge, and one of the main way to acquire the knowledge is through the sound vibration, how it impacts us. So you see, the very basic structure, and I'll be going fast because these are the things most of you are aware, just giving them more the context. Okay, so I'll be going a little fast. Atom, right? And within the atom, we know that it vibrates. It vibrates, there's a sound vibration, right? Even at the very basic level. You look the different way, right? Whether it's symmetric stretching or asymmetric stretching, rotating, bending, all those things which the molecule does, there is a different kind of a vibration. Okay. Uh, Now, have you heard about the body vibration? How many of how many of you have heard about the body has a resonance? Anyone else? No? Okay. Um, so you can read it, and this is the well-researched part where we hear everything has a sound, and this is what the Joshua Leeds talks about in the power of sound. Um, and our body has a frequency, it has a resonance, and that will explain you that sometimes when you meet somebody, you find natural affinity. There's a there's an instant connection.
Sorry,
And if you
Deepak, your voice is anyone else experiencing that? Deepak's voice, yeah.
okay, let me get rid of my go to the speakerphone. Just thank you for letting me know. Can you hear me now? It is better now?
Yes,
All right.
that's much better.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So so I was talking about that we have the resonance, and that's the reason many times when we meet people, we find affinity with them, right? And one of the focus, like in the science experiment, we used to have the tuning fork. We do the tuning fork, and the resonance will happen, and then suddenly, if you have another tuning fork, and you do the sound, and both if the sound vibration matches, there will be a bigger sound, right? The resonance will happen. Similarly, when we meet, there is a natural affinity if our resonance matches, right? And there's a science behind it where they have talked about it, and they have also learned that it impacts the disease, the kind of disease our body carry, and the sound, even the different disease has the frequency, and that's the reason there are devices
sound device which can treat those diseases. And I have friends actually who they use that device and they keep it as a heart patient or for any pain or anything like that, and it really helps them. They have been using it for a long time. I forgot the name. Shilpi, do you remember the device name for
Yeah,
any?
I've been using it for 3 years now. It's called
Okay,
Healy. Yeah,
Healy. Healy.
yeah. We have two of those. We have a daughter in London who's studying medicine, and she's using that as well. So it's an amazing invention. A small piece of device. It's really tiny. It works on different frequencies and vibrations, and it is amazing.
So see, that's the direct, that discovery is the direct offshoot of these kind of a work which has happened in the scientific community, right? So by just knowing what frequency the disease works, by that the monitor like Healy, they run the frequency at that level, which or the different level depending on, right, whether by having the same kind of frequency, whether it's going to cure it, or by having a different kind of frequency than what the illness is, it is going to cure it. So Healy works on that principle. And as Shilpi is here, right, it's a great, like we are hearing from the person who is using it, and I have heard some of other friends who have used it for quite often. And one of my friend who was a heart patient, and he would swear on that it has really helped him. All right. So so all the time, right? So whenever we are doing meditation, also when we do the meditation, and when our body is just calming down, there is a different kind of frequencies coming, and when that frequency comes, we feel calm down, we feel relaxed. That's the reason when we go to the different places, in near the water or in the ocean, or whatever the place where you find your solitude, you feel much better. uh, Here are some of the frequency of the different part of the body. This is what the science has experimented with. And here are the frequency, like for the head, you can see 20 or to 40, spinal column 8. So these are just for you to know that there is a frequency which has been identified, which is a natural frequency of the different body parts. So as I was talking, depending on the different kind of a disease, the different kind of sound vibrations are used, and that helps to remove the imbalance, which these instruments are called cymatic instruments. Okay, these the general terminology cymatic instruments. So Healy is one of the cymatic instrument which is used to treat the disease like asthma, colitis, diabetes, eczema, any other heart things and other things I was talking about. So according to Dr. Rife, every disease has a frequency. He found that certain frequencies can prevent the development of disease and that others would even destroy it. Okay, so that's how powerful the sound is. And that gives the scientific basis that why some sounds has the healing effect, and while some sounds have the opposite of the healing effect. Our thoughts and feelings, again, are the function of the sound. The kind of sound when we expose our organs, like our thoughts and feelings, in what kind of environment we are in, what kind of music we are hearing, the thoughts and the feelings changes based on the external stimulus which is coming as the part of the sound vibration. So it's very important where we are, right? And that explains why some people find the nature to be very soothing. Okay. There is the earth vibration of the earth. Have you heard about that? Any of you have heard about that? The earth has a vibration. Shilpi is telling yes. Anybody else? Okay, Priya also. Okay, so some of you know about it. So it's called Schumann resonance, and it has been found that it's 7.83 hertz. Uh, and what we found that what the science found that when the body or anything is the similar frequency at the frequency of the earth, we feel at much peace, right? There's less stress, and this will explain you. Have you heard these ancient method there is one thing called Vastu, which is used for the environment, and then in Chinese it's called Shilpi, what it is, which is similar to Vastu, if you remember.
Feng Shui.
Feng Shui, Feng Shui. Thank you. So what that talks about, that how we shape our environment, that determines how we feel about it, right? And this is the principle, right? How we modulate our environment so that it is in sync with the nature, with the Mother Earth where we are, right? With the environment where we are. So directions and the placement of those rooms, or the the bed, all those things matters, and this is based on this principle. Similarly, whenever there's a lightning happens, right? Or the weather pattern changes, in the ionosphere, right? That's where the sound vibrations and the frequency gets created, and that start permeating into the atmosphere, and it comes to the Earth's surface. So that also creates the disturbance, sometimes a disturbance, and sometimes the serenity in the environment, right? So depending on what's happening in the ionosphere, that causes the impact on us also. How many of you are musical here? Like, who has played with the instruments? Any of you? Any? Okay. Angelina has, okay. So you know about these A sharp, B, C sharp, all those stuff. And each of those uh, things has the frequency, okay? So for example, the C sharp, right? That the middle key, we'll see the with the red is the 261, and then A is 440. And why those are highlighted, that musicians know about this and how it sounds, and they can catch it, and the higher octave you go, the higher the frequency of that note is. But what they see, that whenever it's like the is divisible by 2, right? In that, like 261, and then what they found, that instead of 440, if you tune it to 432, there is a much soothing effect of that. So as a musician, you can change the frequency of your instrument on whatever you are doing, and you will see it has the different impact on the body. Okay, and the science has experiment on that, and they have found the evidence of this, what is being stated here. Uh, Now, you must have heard, like many of you have been practicing the different yoga system, and one of the chakra, you must have heard about the chakra, and the chakra also has the frequency, right? And these frequencies are stated here, right? And depending on how your posture is, what you're working on, the kind of sound has the impact on the balancing of the chakra, right? If the sound, if we are living in a place where there's a lot of destructive sound, a loud sound, it may cause our body to go imbalanced, right? And that directly impacts the chakra in our body, which is the source of energy which allows us to function. Okay. So now about the plants. Now these are the other experiments which has been done, and there's evidence which I'm sharing here from the sound and the music of the plants. And the first time, the first time I heard about it, when I was a student, maybe in 10th or 11th grade, and I heard about the scientific experiment which happened in Russia, where they were playing the very soothing sound vibration for the plants in one experiment. In the other experiment, they were playing the loud music. And what they found, that the plant and the trees, they were growing very, very well when there was a very soothing sound, musically, classical music kind of a sound. And when there was a loud sound, they saw the trees was wilting or not doing very well. Right? That is the first time I heard about that, the impact of sound on the tree and the plant. And now you can see these are the experiments which has happened in 1973, which documented the research that the monotonous rock music played for several hours destroyed the plants. And the Western classical music had mixed effects, while the plant flourished in Gandharva Veda music. So Gandharva is a very ancient kind of a music, and which is very soothing, and it is considered to be bring one to the enlightenment, right? So it's called, there's a word like in use Gandharva Veda music, right? So it's a very ancient music. And of course, Harpen and Rowe. So you can see the other things where they also experimented. They found the similar correlation with the sound vibration. Mouse experiment. Uh, with anything, science is so fond of these poor mouse, right? They go through, like, for us to learn, the mouse has to suffer. So, what they found that when the good right music was played, the mouse, they lived longer. They lived longer. Like, so they say the mice lived 20 days longer than those without music or with single frequency tone or of the third group. The immune system of control group rejected the foreign tissues. So you can see the experiment on the sound with the right music. There's the healthier mice, longer living mice. And similarly, we know that humans also, right? You'll see that the kind of music they live with, the kind of sound they live, it determines their longevity and their mood and their stress level, which you all have experienced in different ways. It has been found that classical music reduces cortisol and the stress level. Cortisol is the one which causes the stress, right? So what they found, that patient of the music group had a lower propofol consumption and lower cortisol levels compared to the control group during the intraoperative period. Our data provide evidence that listening to music reduces sedative requirement to reach light sedation, and that music can exert stress reducing effects during surgery under regional anesthesia. So even like if when you go to the hospital and my parents were there, I've seen that sometimes they play the music. And when we requested, our parents were there, that can we run our own music? Our parents like that music. They said yes, definitely they allowed that music to be running while they were being operated in the surgery room. So there is belief among some that 432. Okay, so you saw that 440 for A, right? But for the A note, so 440 is the one which typically people do. But there's evidence where they found that 432, when the A is tuned at 432 hertz, is more in harmony with the universe, right? This is what the Paul says. When playing in 432 tuning, he explains, middle C is closer to 256 hertz, a frequency that is a multiple of 8 hertz, the rate that is known as the heartbeat of Earth, right? 7.32 is the heartbeat of Earth, which is closer to 8 hertz, right? So whatever is in the multiple of 8 is considered to be more in harmony with the frequency of the Earth. And that's where they say that if you play the A note at 432, then all the notes in the multiple of 8, and that is more harmonious music, and that is more therapeutic music, right? They call it a therapeutic music. So studies have shown that 432 musical therapy helps ease anxiety, bring down heart rate and blood pressure, and generally has a soothing effect. Loud music, similarly, on the other way, it can be very it can be destructive for long exposure. It can cause body to suffer, and of course, you know all about it, right? Sound as a weapon. You might have heard that how the sound can be used as a weapon, and there are weapons which is being used, and these are some of the weapons name you can think. So sound has a destructive effect, even to the extent that it can kill people. And recently, in the recent past, like 4 or 5 years ago, that it was said that some of our US Army men, they were exposed to some sound vibration, and that caused just not the deafness, but they were totally disoriented and for many months, and they were going through a lot of trauma due to those sound vibration. So this ends our part 1. Very quickly, I have gone over it. I will take a pause Any question, thoughts as we were running through quickly over the scientific based data on the effect of sound on our body?
I think they use sound as torture in torture chambers too, right?
Yes, yes, definitely, definitely. So net is the whole purpose of this section was to tell that there's lot of experiment which has happened on the sound, and you can naturally see why we are talking about it, because when we say mantra meditation or chanting, it has to do with the sound, right? So before we go and talk about the benefit of the mantra meditation, we wanted to show there is direct impact on it. But the part 2 is again with the other scientific section which we'll be talking about, which is the modes of nature, right? So this is the I'll take some of you already know about it because you have been studying reading. For some of you, it might be a new term which we are introducing here. It's called sattva, rajas, and tamas, which English name, and I think I will try to remember to go and update it. Sattva is called goodness, so it's mode of goodness. Rajas is called mode of passion, and tamas is called mode of ignorance. So in all our environment and in our dealing, we deal with these three kind of modes. So for example, in the environment, the mode of goodness, so like the the sound of the water, the freshness of the air, the beauty of the morning, right? All those things are mode of goodness. And universally, most people would agree that when they are in that kind of environment, they feel very enlightened. They feel at peace. There is a different kind of a feeling which gives us the happiness, right? And that is called mode of goodness. Similarly, when we are in the city environment, New York, on the downtown Seattle, or the area where there's a lot of sound, the sound of all the construction is happening, a lot of talking, the cars, trucks, all those sound, different sounds are happening. There's always this mode of passion. Do, let's get it done. Like all those things. Just so that's the predominating influence on us, right? That's called mode of passion. We are driven by the passion. Environment has that impact on us. And tamas is called mode of ignorance. The people, for them, example is people who do drugs or who have the different kind of habits which may not be very good for our body or for our soul, right? So that is the mode of ignorance, right? So these are the environmental factor which determine the impact on our body, right? So mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. And similarly, we also have the tendency in what with what attitude we are working, right? So we might be dealing with somebody in the mode of goodness. We might be dealing with somebody in the mode of passion, right? Very competitive, right? We can be that. Or in the goodness, no, what is the right thing to do? Let's do that, right? No, the competition is not the one which determines that what should be done. And mode of ignorance, oh, it's only my way or highway, or I don't care about you, or anything, those kind of a things, right? So that is the mode of ignorance. So these modes determines the kind of effect which we are going to have on our body and mind. For example, the music can have the impact which can keep us in the mode of goodness, or music can have the impact which can keep us in the mode of passion, or music can have the impact which can keep us in the mode of ignorance. So you see, here, if with the music one can be in the peaceful state, with the music one can become very active, and with the music one can become irrational, right? Similarly, you see, for the different, like for the sattva, again, is goodness, rajas is passion, and tamas is ignorance. Here are the different things, right? In the sattva, one is more detached, right? Focus on the higher self. Motive is knowledge. I want to learn knowledge. Looking for the kind of food they eat is more natural, right? The health they look for the long term. You see that they are some of the attributes of the people who are in the mode of goodness. And in the middle column, you'll see these are the things which is in the mode of passion, like they have a lot of desire. I really want to enjoy myself. What is in it for me, right? They're they means they focus less on the health and more like, okay, I want to go and get this my goal achieved in my life, then I'll take care of my health. So they are motivated by the different things, right? And in the mode of ignorance, it's more destructive behavior, more animalistic propensity, right? So that's what it is. Now, sound has a form, and this science is called semantic, right? The pattern of sound. So that's what this section will be talking about through the scientific evidence. So typically in the cymatic field, they use the sand, all the water, and then they run the different kind of a sound, and they see it forms the pattern. And you will be astonished to see the kind of pattern it produces. Okay, it's really remarkable how the sounds are so beautiful, and what a wonderful way the science has able to go and give the visual impact to something which is very hard to understand. Okay, how do I know that this sound is soothing? I can only experience, right? I can say, oh, I like the sound, but why I like this sound and why I dislike that sound, how to prove it scientifically. So that's what this cymatic field is, right? So sound creates waveform patterns, right? It's the science of visualizing audio frequency. So here you see. Beautiful shape. Wow, it's amazing. Okay, so you got the idea. So here are some of the sounds. Most of you have been exposed to the sound Om, right? With lot of yoga practice, they end with the sound Om. Have you heard that sound? Right? Okay, so you see when they ran this Om through the cymatic pattern, this is the beautiful pattern it formed. You see how different, like a kind of a very harmonious pattern it has created, right? So that is the sound of Om. Lot of it's considered Om as the root sound vibration through which all the other sounds emanates. Okay, so Om, that's Om. And then there is the sacred geometry sound of yantra, which is sound of the universe, right? So there is and this was found in the Vedic text. They talk about this kind of instrument, which help to capture the sound of the universe. And you'll see there are 9 different kind of objects, and then there is a pattern, and this allows the sound of the universe to be captured. And then this is how it looks like. That's what it tells, right? This is how it looks like. And these are the yantra. These are called instruments. Yantra is the name for the Sanskrit instruments, which people keep at home to bring the balance within their environment of their home. So you'll see in some houses there might be a lot of quarrel or disturbance, lot of sickness, and these kind of devices, when put in the home, then it brings the harmony in the house, right? So these are the ancient instruments which has been depicted in the Vedic text, that how these instruments can heal somebody at home or in their environment. And hello, Kimberly. Thank you for joining. I know you had the class today, so thank you for joining.
Thank you. I made sure I wanted to join in as soon as I got home.
No, this is totally fine, and we have recorded it. We can share. So I'll just give you the quick context what we are doing, Kimberly.
Thank
So
you.
we are going with the scientific evidence that how the sound impact us in the constructive way or in a destructive way. And the reason why we are doing it, because we are talking about the mantra meditation, right? The impact, how the mantra meditation lead us to the higher places. So there must be impact of the sound. So to show that, we are using the scientific methods where all different experiments has been done on the sound. So we have gone in the last half an hour or so, we have gone through those. So you can hear the recording and you'll be quickly up to speed. Okay. And by the way, for all of you, Kimberly is the yoga teacher, and she was running a yoga sessions today at Bhakti Studio today. So, all right. So the Sanskrit effect. So again, this is something which you can go and search online. It's called you have heard that if you have been if you have been a mother or a father, the school says that multilingual child, they are, as they grow older, they're even the people who have learned the music, the chance of dementia or chance of neurological disorder is lot less compared to the other individuals who have not been exposed to the multilingual culture or the impact of the music, right? So this is the what they have found, that the language like Sanskrit creates the higher level of consciousness in terms of their thinking ability, and they able to keep themselves in the higher realm, in the higher thinking power, right? So it's called the Sanskrit effect. And you see in the musical note, as I was talking earlier, they did the experiment with the different notes and using the cymatic instruments, and these are the different shapes which were formed when different notes were played, and then the cymatic instrument put these kind of a pattern. So again, see, very symmetrical. It's not that it's not symmetrical. Everything is very symmetrical, right? So any of this classical music, that's the reason they have the soothing effect, because they are symmetrical. If the music is loud, typically, and I'll show you, there's music of this couple of slides, right? So music as a medicine, right? So you all know that music can be used as a medicine. And of course, we are talking about the instrument like Healy, which Shilpi was talking about. So cymatic pattern in water for 12 notes of a scale, right? So different, you can see in the water. Before we saw that cymatic effect using a small particle like sand or rice. Here is in the water, how the different notes forms the shape. Okay, and the sound of a demon, you see. So the and this is it's a known thing. You can just go on internet and say sound of a demon, right? So these are destructive sound, and when you like destructive sound, you see it forms the shape like a demon, right? And it brings the people to the like it more in the mode of ignorance. Okay. So now raga. So in the ancient Vedic text, they are the ancient music which is referred as raga, and raga means different kind of musical notes. Okay, and for the different kinds of musical notes are played at the different time during the day. Like for example, it's called rag malhar. Malhar, Malhar, Malhar. That is typically played when there is the monsoon rain, right? Or rag bhairavi, which bhairavi, it is played during the morning time. So there are different kind of musical tone which are suggested to be played at a different time of the day for the different kind of the mood, right? So all those, and these are documented in the very very old Vedic text. uh, so sound is information, right? So again, you know that how we receive the information, right? So how our senses, ear, right? Our ear is one of the senses, receive the sound, then it sends the sounds to the mind for analysis, and mind stores the result for future use, and that's what becomes the repository for the knowledge, right? So this is how we acquire the knowledge through the sound. And my reflection here is, as I've been learning about this subject and hearing, we have the other knowledge acquiring senses. What are the other knowledge acquiring senses other than our ear?
Ears, nose,
Sorry, what was that?
ear,
Yeah, other than ear, what are the other knowledge acquiring senses? Eyes, okay.
eyes,
Eyes, nose,
nose.
hand, okay, okay.
Yeah.
I can see Priya just saying that like tick, tick, tick. Okay. So you'll, and this is something for contemplation. You'll see that these are all, yes, eyes are knowledge acquiring senses, touch is knowledge acquiring senses, nose is knowledge acquiring senses, but you'll see the most effectiveness of the sound. Like for example, eyes is unidirect, like it's directional. So for me to acquire, my eyes has to be watching that thing, and that's how I will acquire it, right? For something with my touch, I have to touch it, right? Then I will acquire the knowledge about that thing, whether it's hot, cold, soft, hard. That's how I would know. But with the sound, I can acquire the knowledge. Sound can come from any direction, right? So the depth of knowledge I can acquire through the sound vibration is lot more and lot more descriptive, lot more, it has lot more depth, right, than the other senses, right? So that's my own analysis, not in the slide, but that's, as I have been contemplating about it, this is what I found, that yes, indeed, sound is one of the most powerful way of acquiring the knowledge. So here is the Vedic definition of sound. So it says that, and this is where even science, like when we say that there are five gross elements is the water, air, fire, ether, right? Um, uh, i- so you see, ether is the quality, this is the place where the sound lives, right? So persons who are learned and who have true knowledge define sound as that which conveys the idea of an object, indicates the presence of a speaker, screened from our view, and constitute the subtle form of ether. So this is the definition which is coming from a Vedic text called Srimad Bhagavatam, and that is the what is the particular book and what is the chapter and what is the text. That is how it is talking about in the numbers what you see. So again, what is the Vedic definition of sound? Is, so in summary, sound is the quality of the ether. Persons who are learned and who have true knowledge define sound as that which conveys the idea of an object, indicates the presence of a speaker, is screened from our view, and constitute the subtle form of the ether. Means the knowledge, it gives the knowledge, right? So that's the end of our part 2. Okay, so here mainly what we talked about, the cymatic principle, how the sound can be visualized. We talked about the how the different modes exist, the mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance, and how they get influenced by different kind of a sound, right? And based on that, that's how we behave, or that's how we sometimes we can get stressed, because the environment plays such an important role on our well-being, depending on the sound, what my senses can perceive, or even in some cases, the sound is so subtle that I don't hear the sound, but it has the direct impact on my well-being. Okay, so we have a couple more minutes. I'll just see a few more slides, and then we will end the session for today. So sound of creation. Um, so it is considered, this in the Vedic text, it says that when the universe was created, the sound, it always have the sound called Om. It's like had a humming sound. They say that if we take out the sound of all the ambient sound which is happening around us, and we are in a very serene place, and we are able to go into the yoga, deep yoga, and then able to focus my mind completely, um, getting rid of all the things, what we are going to hear is the sound of the universe which is rotating, and that the sound it is generating from that rotation, the quick rotation, is that so that's the vibration what we hear. Okay, that's the reason with any yoga, they always end with the sound Om, because that has the connection. It allows our body to get connected with the Mother Earth or the universe. Okay, so both the sound is the sound of creation and the sound of the annihilation of the universe. Now we are coming about the mantra. What is mantra? Right? So man is mind, manas, mind, tra, deliver. So it delivers the mind from what? So deliver the mind from the misery and bring us to the higher level. That was the mantra does, right? So now we are transitioning from the mundane sound to the very specific sound, the spiritual sound, which is called mantra, right? So what the mantra does, it takes us from the material realm and able to transport us into the spiritual realm by using this sound. And this is the subject matter of these sessions, which we are calling Living Mantra. So today what we did, we talked about the scientific basis, what the sound is, how it impacts us, and we have walked the journey and come to a place called mantra meditation, where we'll be now going and talking about the impact of the mantra. Okay, so I will take a pause for today. Are there any questions, comments, takeaway? It will good. Like if you some of you can share some of the takeaways, that would be awesome. Anybody would like to share anything?
I just thought this was really beautiful. I mean, I love music. My parents were musicians. My grandpa was a musician. Music brings so much joy, and it's gotten me through a lot of things in my life. And so this was just a really good reminder of that core joy that I find in music and why it's so important. So I literally got distracted pulling up ragas and the Veda music that you mentioned. So now I have playlists.
Thank you. Thank you for that sharing, Angelina. Anybody else?
Thank you so much for this wonderful session. Do you have any playlist or any music that we can listen to until our next, because next session will be next week, right? So yeah, so to experience ourselves that this music, like,
Yeah.
yeah, has
Yeah.
changed.
Yeah, so you know, any mantra, any kind of a mantra related music or the kirtan is so you can always search online for kirtan and you can hear those, and that will bring you that serenity. Okay, so any kind of a kirtan.
Sure, yeah, thanks.
Okay, yeah. One last comment.
I just want to say thank you so much for hosting this. I had been studying Dr. Jeffrey Thompson's work through sound, different sound frequency therapies for
Yes, yes,
divergence. And it's so powerful to learn, you know, how cymatics really just shapes
yeah,
based on, you know, water and just the power of it. So
yes,
to
yes.
reinforce it, the more you just believe and trust in it, it's just beautiful. So thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you for bringing that. Yes, indeed, indeed. And I will bring some, as we finish this section on the scientific evidence of the sound, we'll talk about some of the latest experiment where they are proving it again and again that the impact how the sound plays such an important role in our life. Okay, so next session we will continue and finish the remainder part of it. And there we will be sharing some of the more scientific, interesting, very, very interesting evidence. And now we will be covering the what the Vedic text has to say about that. So we will transition from the um, scientific experiment to the Vedic experiment, right? So and you'll see both of them in harmony. They both prove the same thing. So that's what we will do, and then we will end with the what the famous people have to talk about it, and we will end this particular section, and from there on, then we will go into the more on the practice, okay, which Shilpi will be running those sessions. All right. Thank you very much for your participation, Amisha, Katie, Shruti, Riza, Angelina, Kimberly, Priya. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Deepak. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Goodbye.
Thank you.